Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's soccer game between the Moorhead Spuds and the Sartell Sabres. We're just going through starting lineups right now, as you can see there on your camera. And after they run through, I will say it on air here. The Spuds come into this as the #1 seed, and Sartell as the #5 seed, with Moorhead's record being 11-2-2 in the regular season, and Sartell coming in at a 7-6-3 record. Moorhead won their first matchup here, as you saw on Spuds TV just a couple nights ago, where they took down the Elk River Elks and moved on to this semifinal matchup.
And now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team on the scoreboard this evening. Our Spuds of Moorhead Senior High School.
And now the Moorhead Spuds here coming out onto the field, as you can see them down there on the bottom. And again, once they go all the way through, we will have the anthem played. And then before they line up, I will again just announce it on air.
Number 8, Max Hodney. Number 9, Abdurrahman Ahmed. Number 10, Reaver Keiko. Number 11, Mohammed Hussein. Number 12, Osama Alawi. Number 17, Elliot Funk. Number 18, Parker Gass.
As I do have written down the starting lineups for both teams. As for the Moorhead Spuds, in goal we have number 1, Jacob Vanetz. In addition, we have number 4, Carter Johnson. Number 5, Ben Colborn rather. Number 7, Mohammed Amouk. Number 8, Max Hodney. Number 10, Reaver Keikos. Number 11, Mohammed Hussein. Number 12, Osama Olawi. Number 17, Elliot Funk. Number 18, Parker Gast. And number 21, Colin Baumgartner. Now we do take a break, as on the field there is the anthem being played.
Let's play Minnesota 8-3A section tournament soccer.
And as we get underway here from Jim Goda Stadium in Moorhead, Minnesota, I'm your play-by-play commentary for tonight, Carter Castoris, and along with my crew here at Spuds TV, we welcome you to tonight's section semifinal matchup between the Moorhead Spuds and the Sartell Sabres. Again, as I mentioned before, I will go through the starting lineups for the Sartell Sabres, as I announced Moorhead's earlier. We have number 2, Carter Bollinger. Number 3, Kyle Fisher. Number 5, Zach Pakula. Number 6, Billy Vogt. Number 8, Mason Horgan. Number 9, Ethan McClellan. Number 10, Matiku Neese. Number 11, Aiden Hilger. Number 13, Marcus Congdon. Number 15, Carter Muring. And number 21, Carter Johnson. And in net for them, the Sartell Sabres, is number 6, Billy Vogt. And we are just about ready to get underway here, as the Sabres will take the opening kickoff. And the matchup between the 1 and 5 seed here is underway at Jim Goda Stadium, as that's tapped back and then sent forward, intended along the side for Hilger. but Funk watches that go out of bounds, and he'll take the first throw-in of the game. He'll throw it into Hussein, and Hussein moving around, send it along to the middle, bouncing over Keikos' foot. Bouncing it off was McClellan, now taking it away, and then sent back to Baumgartner. A little bit of back and forth action as their Funk sends one up. Not really intended for anybody, but it's headed down by two Sabres defensemen, and now Moorhead gets possession, as here's Hodney. Hodney sends it to the far side. And not letting that one go out. That'll be kept in, but Sartell takes possession of that. Intended pass for Fisher will end up getting to him. He's moving along the left side, but he's caught up to by Parker Gast, and the defense will reset for the Spuds. That's inside the box now. Sent up by Hodney, back to the middle, and here's Hussein trying to get something going for the Spuds. Hussein pressured hard there by Horgan, but he'll end up getting around. Moving it forward to Keikos, tap back pass, knocked away there. And now it's sent back over in almost a 50-50 ball on the ground, and here's Hodney with it. Hodney over to Nmook. Nmook back, and then tapped over to Funk. Funk to the middle to Hodney. Hodney back to Colborne. Colborne looking for options. He'll send it back. And that's Gast. Gast up to the side. Has Keikos with it. Keikos sending a far shot up front for Nmook. And he was wide open there along the side as he looks for somewhere to send it. Hussein with a move around. Tap back to Colborne. Colborne pressured hard by Pekula. Sent up forward. Spuds have a chance, and that'll go off the side of the nets, and nothing will come from that. As now it'll be a goal kick from inside the 6-yard box of the Sabres. As here's Vogt that places it on his left side of the box. And he'll send that up. And then that's knocked down by Pekula. Pekula fighting for it there. Sending it up along the side, and instead that goes out of bounds off of Nmook. And that's thrown in by Muring here. And he dropped the ball. As you saw Moorhead there, thought he threw it into himself, but ref ruling that he actually dropped the ball as it slipped out of his hands here. And that'll bounce away from Nice. And then that's sent over to Colborne. Colborne sending that forward, and that's between the legs of an attacking Moorhead forward. And here's a throw-in for the Sabres, and that'll be sent back to their defense. Looking for options, sent well forward. That's intended for Fisher, but it'll go well over his head, and Gast will knock that out. That's tossed along the side and out of bounds. Not sure who that was intended to as it went over the head of two Sabre players. And instead, now Vanette will get his turn at a goal kick, and he'll tap that over to Baumgartner. Baumgartner to Funk, a little bit off of his foot awkwardly. Funk with a nice move, and he'll tap it back to Baumgartner, who sends it up, well, rather tried to get it up along the side to Nmook, but that will be tapped away by a Sabre attacker, and now Funk will take a throw-in. That's sent forward, headed by Muring, and then knocked immediately back up. Hussein tries to knock it back down. With that sent on over to Pekula, taken away from him by Hodney. Hodney over to Hussein. Hussein between two Sartell defenders, over to Keikos. Keikos trying to tap it forward for Nmook, and that's knocked away on a great defensive play by Carter Muring. That's Nice that clears it for the Sabres all the way to the far side of Vanette's goalie box. That's the large goalie box. You can see two orange lines there on your screen. One is the small goal box that the goalie takes his goal kicks from when it goes behind the nets on either a missed shot or a missed pass by the opposition. And then the large box is where he can use his hands, and either any save he makes with his hands or anytime he picks up the ball, he can touch it in that area. As now speaking of the box, Moorhead's got it in Sartell's and kept in along there by Keikos. But no Spud attacker was there, and so that'll be sent out to midfield where Moorhead does end up regrouping. Here's Colborne with it. Colborne trying to make a move there, but Pekula pressuring hard, and he'll opt to pass it instead. That's sent to the middle and then tapped forward up and intercepted by Horgan. Sent up now in a couple of back and forth passes, and Alawi's got it now. Alawi over the head of some Sartell defenders there. The move back for Colborne. Colborne back for Baumgartner. Baumgartner sending it up to the middle. That was Hodney. Now he'll move it over to Funk, telling him to go get it. And that's stolen away from him by Hilger. And that's moved back to him. That's sent forward to Fisher and knocked away. As here's Funk with it. Funk will send it forward and then headed in the air by Muring. But that'll be Hussein with a little bit of header juggling action there. Hussein with a chance. Hussein tried to go between the legs, but nothing came out of that. And as you saw the ref there making a circular motion with his hands, he ruled ball contact between the two players, and so no foul will take place. As there's Hodney's left-footed shot into the box of Vogt. And the Sabres will regroup here. So already an electrifying first 5 or 6 minutes here at Jim Goda Stadium as it's back and forth action with lots of changes in possession. And speaking of that, here come the Sabres. And a foul is called on Colborne. And so a free kick will be taken by Nice. Or rather, that'll be taken instead by his defender. That'll be Congdon sending it into the box. That's headed forward and intended back to the middle for Fisher, but that'll knock away. And that was Sartell moving it forward. That's in the middle for Hodney now. Hodney sending it well forward, but realizing that it would be offside, Alawi does not end up going for it, and instead there will be a throw-in for the Sabres. That's tossed in, intended for Pekula. But that'll bounce away from him, and Colborne will take that in. Colborne with 2 defenders heavily on him. He'll have that stolen from him by Pekula. Sent up here for Fisher. Fisher in a foot race, and Gast wins that one and knocks it out of bounds, allowing his defensive team to regroup here. As now we await Horgan's throw-in along the far side. As that ball bounced all the way to the opposite fence here, enclosing Jim Goda Stadium. That's sent into the middle, intended for Nice, but knocked away by Moorhead. Here comes Colborne, passing it kind of generally into the middle, and that's taken away, and to the left of the net was a shot by Carter Bollinger. And so Vanette will have the option to either pass or kick the ball from his small goal box there, right alongside his net, as he will opt for Baumgartner to take that for him. That's sent over the head of Sartell, and Hussein takes that in. Hussein over to Hodney. Hodney chipping a far pass. That's knocked back down by Sartell, and Sartell sends that forward. As here's Gast. And Gast will send that well out of bounds as he tried to keep it in along his own defensive zone sideline. And Sartell will throw it in instead, which will just bounce harmlessly back behind the box for a goal kick for Vanette. That'll be Baumgartner that takes that, sending out a line drive to the middle for Keikos. Keikos to Hussein here. Hussein with a missed pass, but instead he'll regroup it and go between the legs of Nice. Hussein pressured from behind. He'll try to send it to Hodney, but a little bit too far as here's Pekula. Trying to get Sabres going. Sent up for Fisher. Bouncing between 2 Spuds defenders. Fisher in the box hard. And a whistle was called before a shot was taken. And it'll be ruled no goal, and instead a free kick will be taken by Colin Baumgartner, who was knocked down there in the box with contact with Kyle Fisher. That'll be sent up for Namook. And Hussein tried to beat out Marcus Congdon to that ball, but Congdon boxes out Hussein and watches it roll out of bounds. And so Sartell sends that forward and then heads it out. As here's Funk with it. He'll throw it into Hodney. Hodney heading it back to Funk. Funk making a move around Bollinger. And that'll be moved forward for Fisher. Fisher makes a move, tap forward. Here's a chance for Hilger. And Vanette comes out of his box and makes that save. A great play there by Vanette. as he realized that he'd either have to face the shot, which is something very difficult to do as a goalie, or he could just go out and play aggressive and cover that up, and he elects to do that and sends a kick out of bounds. As now Sartell will take advantage of that and throw it in. That's moved over to the side and tapped forward by Nice, taken in by Baumgartner. Baumgartner sends that up just past Keikos, and then moved forward by Horgan. Horgan to the side, and that's taken away. And it'll be ruled out of bounds as the Spuds can't quite get to that one. And the Sabres take a throw-in. Or rather, a free kick will be called as there was contact along the side between the Spuds and Sabres. And as we await this free kick here inside of the Sabres offensive zone, that'll be a left-footed roller that's knocked away by Gast. That's knocked up by, Horgan. And then taken in, tried to send it forward for Nice, who was sitting in the box waiting. He would have had a great opportunity there, but nothing out of that, as now that'll be a fanned shot by Johnson, but he'll recover, and that'll be moved on over to Pekula. That pass for Fisher's knocked down. Here's Colborne with it. Colborne's going to move it up, intended for Keikos, but knocked away by the Sabres. And there's Baumgartner, now up to Keikos. Back to Colborne. Colborne over to Hodney. Hodney stops it and continues to go. Makes a spin with 3 Sabres on him, who move it over to Funk, who is wide open along the side. Back to Hodney. Hodney with a move. And a foul is called against Aiden Hilger. And a free kick will be taken by Moorhead. As there's Baumgartner taking that in a little bit of an awkward pass, and that'll be sent forward. And then Baumgartner knocks that chance away. Move forward, and Baumgartner with it again, sending it off the legs of Kyle Fisher. And here's Namook with it now. Namook sending it over to the far side. And then tapped immediately back. There's Gass sending up a hard shot to the middle. Hussein tapping it over to his wing and trying to tap it back, but knocked away there by Sartell. And Moorhead gets a throw in. That's sent in for Hussein. Hussein trying to make a couple moves. He'll pass it to the middle for Keikos. Keikos moves it back to Hodney. Hodney has that bounce away from him, and Sartell tries to send it up to their attackers. But Colborne there for the stop, and Hodney gets that stolen from him. Moving forward, here's Hilger. Hilger with a right-footed shot. Save by Vanette. Tracking that one all the way and knocking it down, and Vanette is tested early. You can feel Sartell's energy here. Their last game that they had actually ended in a penalty kick shootout. Similar to a shootout in hockey, you line up on the penalty kick line inside the box and take shots until somebody wins. And they actually beat Brainerd, which is the number 4 seed. 4-3 is what the score ended up being. And so you can feel their energy and momentum coming off of from both beating a higher seed and winning in such fashion that it's carried over into this game. And the Spuds are hoping to counter that here. That's moved over to Funk, and Funk keeps that down. That'll be sent back for Hodney. Hodney trying to make something happen. That's knocked away from him and then sent up here to Hilger. Hilger sends that forward. That's Fisher. Fisher along the side. Fisher. And Fisher keeps that in bounds. Sends it to the middle, knocked away by Colborne. There's Hodney heading it up for Keikos. Keikos knocks it down and then taken away from him by Muring. Muring to the middle, and then there's Horgan sending it up and out of bounds. As now the Spuds take a throw in here, and that's sent on in and then moved over to the middle to Hodney. Hodney moving forward for Hussein, but that bounces between his feet. And here's Sartell going on the attack. That'll be sent up, intended for Hilger. That'll bounce, he'll head that forward. And they'll rule an elbow against the Sabres. And so the Spuds will take a free kick from just about the top of the 18-yard box of Vanette. As here's Funk taking that. He'll send a line drive out to Hussein. Hussein goes through 2 defenders. Moves that over to his side. Looking up, and he'll move it up to Keikos. Keikos with a defender on him. Tries to make a move around. Makes a move around one. Now trying to make a move around a second. Gets between the legs of him, but it'll be knocked away and sent forward for the Sabres. As tapped by Baumgartner over to Colborne. Colborne to the middle. Tap back and then taken away by Nice. Nice pressured hard there. And he'll tap it around Namook, but nothing will come out of that. And that throw-in will be headed into the air, and here's Hussein. That was in the box, but Sartell ends up winning that battle. And now sent well into the air by Namook and headed forward by Muring. Back and forth action. That was about 3 headers that I counted there between the two teams. And that's moved on over and then sent forward and out of bounds by Alawi. And so the Sabres will take a throw-in. That's tapped forward and then sent well forward by Nice, taken in and knocked down. Here's Namook with it now. Namook, Dahadni to Hussein. Hussein back to Keikos. Keikos left-footed shot into the middle for Namook. Namook's in the box. He'll take a shot, and he scores! The Spuds have the first goal of the night. As that was number 7, Mohamed Namook, hammering home the first goal of tonight's contest with 23:31 remaining in the first half. Again, that's number 7, Mohamed Namook, on a great pass in the middle from, I believe, Keikos that tapped it forward. And that'll be moved over as Sartell looks to regroup here. You can feel the energy in the stands as the Spuds actually take the lead here. As now there's Sartell looking to regroup, and that'll go off of Pekula's foot and out of bounds. And here's Funk now with a throw-in. As we have some substitutions, including number 14, Justin Stahlberger, coming in for the Spuds. He'll come in for number 11, Mohamed Hussein. And that'll be at the forward spot, as that's headed off of newly entered Stahlberger. And here's Namook sending a far shot to nobody in particular. That's taken in by the Sabres. Sent into the air. Hit up by Pekula, and then into the middle for a 50-50 ball that ends up falling flat. Move forward by Pekula. Tap to the side, intended for Ahmed, but just out of his reach, and nothing will come out of that. There's Fisher with it, going along the side, and instead that'll go out of bounds. And there will be a goal kick by Vanetz from his small box. As just a reminder, either he can take it, or as you've seen in this game, and as is going to happen right now, his defender can take it, and that defender happens to be Colin Baumgartner right now. As we have a couple more substitutions. As in comes number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim. As now Baumgartner's shot is sent well up, and Sartell ended up taking that in. That's headed up for Pekula. Pekula trying to send it forward. He'll get it back. Knocked away by Alawi. Sent forward for Keikos, and now Sartell will take that in after taking that away. Here's Nice. Nice will send it to the far side. Tap back to the middle for Nice, but knocked away by Baumgartner. There's Funk. Moving over to Keikos. Keikos to the middle. Here's Namook. Namook back to Alawi, but that's taken away from him. And then moved on forward for Fisher. Fisher pressured hard. And that's kept in by the Spuds. That was gassed along the side with the pressure. And now Keikos tries to get something going, but Nice will take that away. He'll move it over to Hilger. Hilger back to Nice, and then Colborne knocks that away. has moved in, and Colborne with a great boxing outplay, and that'll be moved forward by Alawi. That'll be up to Stahlberger. Stahlberger trying to fight off 3 Sabres, and instead the Sabres will send that for the sidelines, and it'll go not out of bounds. That'll be kept in, as everybody on the pitch thought that that went out, and instead it'll be moved up here by the Spuds to Funk. Funk back to the middle for Hodney. Hodney trying to get it back to Funk, but a little bit too far of a pass. That's taken away from him, sent up. And now a foot race between Baumgartner and Fisher, and Baumgartner will win that and send it out. As now here's Hilger with the throw in. He'll send it to the middle. And that's Neese with it. He'll try to move it forward. Nothing comes out of that. That's Picula back to Neese. Neese over to the side to Hilger. Hilger's right-footed shot. And nothing will come out of that as that goes over the top of the net and his net. And so he will take, or rather have Gas take, the goal kick from inside of his small box. As we are past the halfway mark in this first half of play, with the Spuds leading 1-0 in this section semifinal matchup. And that's knocked away and taken in by Muring. And then knocked away from him and moved over to Moorhead. Now that's forward for Ali. Ali back to Colborne. Colborne up forward to his wing. Pressured hard and then knocked out off of the Sabres. And now Moorhead, after that throw-in, will go into attack mode. Here's Funk. Funk will send in a hard pass to the middle. That's knocked in and taken in by Namook. Back to the middle. There's a huge scrum for it. Here's taken in. That was Keikos on the shot, and that's sent well forward and out of bounds at just about the midfield mark. And Moorhead gets a throw-in off of that. As here's Olawi along the side, tossing it into the middle to an unguarded Ali. Ali passes it back. Here's Funk. Funk darting up along the side. Tries to do a spin move, but that's knocked away after a great defensive play by Aiden Hilger. And as that bounces behind Vogt's net, there will be a goal kick for Billy Vogt of the Sartell Sabres as he lines up for it and sends a kick well forward. And there will be ruled some sort of contact there between the Spuds and Sabres, and the Sabres get a free kick that's sent up to the side. That was Fisher going up for it with Alawi. And then kept in and knocked out in turn by the Sabres. As moving that forward was Testa. And then knocked forward by Moorhead. That's sent forward. Keiko's with it now on a weird curve on the ball that ended up sending it to the far sideline. Trying a little bit of misdirection there on defender Carter Bollinger before he sends a shot in off of the side of the net. And instead, Vogt will take a goal kick. As in comes number 6, Lukman Samani for the Moorhead Spuds here, checking in. And as we await Vogt's goal kick. And the whistle gets it back underway. And that's sent forward, a line drive that would have bounced at about midfield had Colborne not headed it down. And now there's a scrum for it between the Spuds and Sabres, and that's moved over to Ali. Ali tried to get it between the middle to Ibrahim, but that's knocked away by the Sabres. As here's Hilger trying to move it forward, moved over to the side here. Here's Neese. Nice along the side in a foot race and out of bounds. And the Spuds get a throw in. As here's number 17, Elliott Funk, checking out for number 2, Razak Alshamani. And Alshamani will be taking the throw-in duties from Funk as he relieves him in this first half. That's sent in for Ibrahim. Ibrahim to Ali, back to Alshamani, sent forward. Chested and then sent forward by Johnson. Here's Nice, knocked away by Ali. And there's Namook to the middle, just past Stahlberger, and then a weird turnaround pass that ended up glancing off of Sartell's own shins, and the Spuds get a throw in about 20 yards from where the pass was taken. As that's Colborne with it. He'll send it up to Samani. Samani will send it all the way back for Gast. Gast over to Alshamani. Alshamani with a move up to Ali. That's taken away from him by Hilger. Hilger moving forward. He's got some room. Sending a pass. Here's another shot, and Vanette swallows that up on a Ethan McClellan right-footed shot. As there's Vanette rolling out to the side to Alawi. Alawi shoots it off of Fisher's legs, and the Spuds get a throw-in. And you saw there as he tried to take a throw-in, didn't like it, and then took a couple more steps, and that didn't really sit right with the ref, and he rules he took too many steps, and he'll have to redo the throw-in. As that's sent up off of the Sabres, and Alawi will take another throw-in here for the Spuds. That's dumped over the side. That's Ali back to Baumgartner. That's knocked away. Here's Hilger. Hilger with another chance. Sends it forward off of the foot of McClellan. As there will be ruled a foul on Lukman Ali. And there will be a free kick from right outside of the 18-yard box of Vanette. And as the Spuds line up here, it's going to be very tough to get it past that front wall that you can see forming right at about the 5-yard line on the football field. As taking it, here's number 3, Kyle Fisher. Looks like it'll be a left-footed shot. He'll send that in. That's knocked away in the front by the Spuds. And now the Spuds go on attack. That's Samani between 2 Sartell defenders. Now moving it up to Ibrahim. Ibrahim with a stop, and he's taken down. And there will be a foul ruled against the Sabres. And so here's Alshamani with a free kick. And as he lines up for it, you see both the offensive and defensive strategy coming into play here with both the Spuds and the Sabres, with the Sabres sending a bunch of people back along the top of that box. And it ends up paying off as they knock it out and then take possession before Ali tries to take that back away, and he ends up getting the better of the Sabres in that battle as it'll go off of Meering's foot, and Alshamani will be able to take a throw in. He'll send that in for Ali. Ali between the legs of Testa, and then move it over to Colborne. Colborne along the side for Alawi. Alawi setting up. He'll move it to the middle. Here's Ali. Ali has that taken from him by the Sabres. And that's moving up, and a hook shot sent forward. And there will be a whistle. I do apologize, it's in the backfield of where the ball was, so I'm not entirely sure what was ruled. As it will be a foul ruled against Moorhead. And so a free kick will be taken by the Sabres with just about 11 minutes remaining in the first half. And that's sent well forward and then headed up for Samani. Samani in a battle with it with Bollinger, but Bollinger wins that one. And that'll be sent intended forward for Nice and then taken in. And a great slide tackle. That will be ruled a foul against Namook. And so here the Sabres take a free kick from right at about the 20-yard line on the football field, as that's number 10, Matiku Nice, taking the shot here. Here's Nice lining up and sending a very high shot that goes off of the football field goal post, as that was some power on that shot. And so there will be a goal kick from inside the small box of Vanette. That'll be moved over to Gast. Number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed checks in for the Spuds, as you may have heard on the loudspeaker system here at the Jim Goda Stadium, hometown site of the Spuds. And there's Colborn trying to dribble between 3 defenders, and a foul will be ruled on one of them against him. And Baumgartner will line up and take the kick, as he'll just send it over to Hodney. And here's Gass with it, sending it well forward. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed moves it over, intended for Colborn, but knocked away by Testa. And a foul after some contact between the Sabres and Spuds, and it will be ruled a free kick for the Sabres. Sent well forward and then knocked up by Colborn, and then headed down by the Sabres, taken in by Samani. Samani intended over for Ahmed, but that's knocked away from him. Here's Johnson with it now. He watches that go out of bounds off of the Spuds. And now we have number 22, Alex Otkin, and number 5, Zach Pakula, checking in for the Sabres. That's tossed in for Nice. Nice sending a high shot, or rather pass intended for Otkin, but nothing will come out of that. And so Alawi will take a throw in for the Spuds. Sent forward for Namook. Namook taps it for Colborn. Back to Gast, who immediately sends that up forward. That's Hussein tapping it back to Hodney. He'll try to get a tap back pass. The Spuds weren't quite sure who was going to take that. And then an off-balance kick forward by the Sabres defenseman there along the side will result in an Al-Shamani and in turn Spud throw-in, as that'll be thrown in and off of the foot of Moorhead. And so Sartell throws it up, but that's intercepted by Samani. And then sent in by Colborn for Hussein. Hussein battling out in the box there with Horgan before Vogt comes out and swallows that up, stopping any chance for Moorhead from developing for now. And then a kick by Vogt is sent up and out of bounds for a Spuds throw-in. That'll be tossed in, then tap forward, and a couple of tap back passes. And now the Spuds take control of that. There's Ahmed moving it to Somani. Somani back to Hodney. Hodney moving it forward for Hussein, but that's knocked away. Tended for Hilger on the Sabres. But now a couple of changes of possession, and they'll be sent forward by Pakula. And then out of bounds, as that's out of the reach of Alex Atkins' left foot. And so a throw-in by Olawi will be tapped right back to him by Colborn. Olawi sends that forward and out of bounds. And so a throw-in now for Carter Johnson. And he throws it in there. That was for Bollinger. But the Spuds take control of that after a bounce off of his shins. And then Colborn's intended rush starter will fall apart after the Sabres knock it out of bounds. And instead a throw-in will take place for Alawi. As he throws it in, that's knocked up. And that's Nice fighting against Samani. Samani wins that, moves it over to Hussein. Hussein back to Hodney. Hodney over to Colborn. Colborn left-footed pass forward. That's Samani. Samani tries to turn that around with a shot, but just a little bit of a dribbler there sent in to the box of votes, and he'll swallow that up. That's moved forward, and both Pekula and Hodney missed that, so in turn it'll be sent up forward into Sartell's defensive zone where Colborne has it. Colborne with a nice move around Pekula. He'll send it up forward. That's Ahmed racing for it. He won't be able to fight off Garrids. And now it'll be sent off of Moorhead for a Sartell throw-in. That'll be tossed in and immediately sent forward. Here's Colborne. Colborne moving it back to Alawi. Back and forth action, and Moorhead ends up with that one. That's sent forward and then taken in. Here moving along the side, that's Hussein. Hussein to the middle. And that's knocked away and then sent out of bounds on a regroup by number 13, Marcus Congdon. And so there will be a throw-in for the Spuds. That will be at about the goal line there on the football field. You can line that up there at home on your screens. As here's Alawi with a running start, tosses it way into the box and knocked down by the Sabres, and then kicked out by Hussein. Or rather, that was Samani that ended up kicking it out. And it'll glance off of a Sabre player. And now we have a corner kick for the Spuds. Here's Hodney. He'll send in a shot that'll be knocked down in front and sent immediately back to him. He'll send a higher shot in, and Vogt reads that perfectly and makes the save, keeping the score at 1-0 with about 3:40 remaining in the first half. That'll be sent forward in a high bounce, headed down by Baumgartner. That's moved back to the middle and then tap back over to the side to Hilger. Hilger has that knocked away from him by Al-Shamani. And so now Sartell gets a corner kick as we have a substitution. Number 17, Andrew Gritman, comes in to the game for the Sabres. As here's Neese lining up for a Sabre corner kick. That'll be a line drive pass headed away by Colborne. Some great defense there, using Colborne and his height to his advantage. Is now it's along the side and knocked out by Al-Shamani. And we have another substitution as in comes Kyle Fisher for the Sabres. And a front flip throw and getting some power on that's knocked away, and it's in the box and then sent forward by Gast. That'll be Samani sending it forward for Hussein. Hussein trying to settle that down, but eventually that'll be settled in by Samani. Move forward and out of bounds. And now there'll be a throw-in for the Sabres. That'll be sent in for Hilger. Hilger sends it forward for Neese. Neese tries to tap it around. It'll be ruled out of bounds there as the entire stadium collectively held a breath as they waited for the ruling of the official there along the side. And instead, it'll go out of bounds. And Al-Shamani will take a throw-in. He'll send that forward, and that's knocked up by Neese. And now Al-Shamani will take another throw-in for the Spuds. That's sent in again to the middle, and then out of bounds. Pass intended in for Abdurrahman Ahmed. And instead, Matiku Neese will take a throw-in. Or rather, Carter Muring will actually take the throw-in there. And he'll send it in to Gritman. That's taken away by Samani. Samani between the legs of Muring, and he'll send it up to Hussein. Hussein with a move around Gritman, around another defender. He's setting up. He'll move around, send it to the middle. That's Ahmed trying to fight off Gritman, but Gritman wins that one. Sending it forward and then knocked off with the right foot of McClellan and sent well up by the Spuds. Knocked by Hussein, sent into the air. and then down. And that'll be kept in by Hilger, actually, as it goes off of Sartell, and he knew he had the chance to save it and did. And here's Al-Shamani tapping it to the middle for Ahmed. That's knocked away from him. Then moves forward, and here's Fisher that has it bounce away from him. It'll be ruled out of bounds off of the Sabres as we're nearing the final moments in this first half of play. That's kicked way up by Hodney. And it'll bounce away, and that will do it for our first half of play here from Jim Goda Stadium in this section semi-final with your Moorhead Spuds taking on the Sartell Sabres. And as it stands right now, your Spuds are leading 1-0.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise, but is overwhelmed by all the options. What if there was a way for Pam to have access to a team of media experts? What if this was at no extra cost and didn't require a contract? Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Boss DXT snowplows are tough to beat. Featuring dual trip tech, flared wings, and optional D-force for improved scraping and backdragging performance. Choose from 3 different sizes in steel, stainless steel, and poly. The Boss DXT is built to restore order.
Your home for Boss Snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. Now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes. Offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
The Moorhead Legacy Education Foundation and Spud History were happy to offer services to 10 Moorhead High School class reunions this summer. The class reunions took tours of the high school, visited the Spud History Wall at Horizon Middle School, were entertained by Moorhead High School music students, and were visited by Spuddy. Start planning your class reunion today. Here's the email address, spudhistory@moorheadschools.org for more information.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to second half action of boys soccer here in a section semifinal matchup between your hometown Moorhead Spuds and the visiting Sartell Sabres. Your score as it stands right now on the Northwest Alliance scoreboard is your Moorhead Spuds 1, Sartell nothing, and that one Spuds goal coming at the 23:31 mark with that time remaining in the first half, and that was number 7, Mohamed Namout, coming from a pass from Reaver Keikos that has so far stood as the only goal in a action-packed first half that we had back and forth, with Vanette having to make about 3 saves and Vogt just returning that with his own number of about that. As now we await Moorhead's kickoff here. It'll be Mohamed Hussein taking it for the Spuds. And as the clock runs down on the field, we are just about ready to go and kick off this second half of action. And we are underway as Hussein taps that back to Colborne. Colborne to the far side. Here's Funk with it. Sent forward and then tap back for him. The move around an attacker. Pass to Hodney. Hodney chipping it forward. Knocked back down. That's along the side and bouncing out. For it's tossed in by the Sabres. Now be taken away by Keikos. Keikos sending up to Hussein. Hussein Moving it to Keikos. Keikos tapping it forward. That was for Namook. Keikos in the box, heads it forward. Chance here for Ahmed. Ahmed tries to drive to the middle, but that's knocked away by Johnson. Kick forward for Alawi is going to bounce soft and off. And then it'll be knocked out, and the Spuds will take a Breakdown Sports corner kick. As in comes Max Hodney to take that. As he'll look to obviously send the shot into the box of Billy Vogt and extend the Spuds' lead. As he'll send in a left-footed shot that's headed away by the Sabres. And now here are the Sabres turning it the other way. That was Fisher trying to move it forward, but they will rule that it bounced off of Fisher last, and so there will be a throw-in here for Alawi. Sent in for Keikos. Keikos driving around the side, and then knocked down by Bollinger. And now there will be a free kick for the Spuds, as it'll be Hodney taking it. Hodney lining up almost sideways. That'll be sent into the middle. And that's knocked down. And then sent forward by the Sabres. Sent forward, that's a very hard pass sent up. Intended for Pekula, but knocked away by Baumgartner. And it'll roll out of bounds off of the Spuds, and the Sabres, with a quick turnaround here, will throw it immediately back in. Now we move forward in a couple of possession changes, and the Spuds ends up with that. Move forward. Here's Keikos. Keikos moves it over to Colborne. Colborne taps it for Ahmed. Ahmed trying to get around the edge. He'll go between the legs. And he'll fall there, and a throw-in will take place for the Spuds as a miscommunication between the Sabres. And the pass will fall flat. And here's Ahmed off of the Alawi throw-in with a move. Splits the D. And that'll be knocked away from him and out of bounds. It'll be ruled off of the Sabres, I believe. And so there will be a Breakdown Sports corner kick for Max Hodney the second time this half. They only took one the entire first half. And they already have two here within the first 5 minutes. And there's Hodney sending in a shot far side for Colborne. That finds the back of the nets. And the Spuds are up 2-0. That was Ben Colborne with the goal. With 36:34 remaining in the second, putting the Spuds ahead 2-0 on your Northwest Blind scoreboard.
Takes a 2-0 Moorhead. Time of that Spud second half goal, 36-34.
That was a very well-placed ball by Hodney off of that corner kick, and you saw it there in the Elk River game where they were trying to do the same thing, and this time they struck gold. And instead of ringing the crossbar twice, as again they did during that Elk River game, he'll score on his first header inside the box off of a corner kick. And now the score is extended to 2-0. As the Sabres send in a pass to Fisher. Fisher sends that forward. Here's Pekula, or rather McClellan, and then knocked out by Gast. And McClellan will take a throw-in. That's sent in to the middle. Here are the Spuds, and that'll be knocked back out by Keikos. That's up for Hussein, and it'll be ruled a handball on Marcus Congdon of the Sabres. And he will rule it well up. And that'll be sent over to the side to Funk. Funk back to Colborne. Colborne back to Baumgartner. Baumgartner up to Funk. Funk tries to go between his legs, but it'll bounce off of his ankle and go out of bounds. That'll be thrown in. That's for Neese. Neese trying to battle off Hodney, but that doesn't work. Here's Hodney. Hodney almost teeing up for a shot, but nothing comes out of that. He's driving forward. He's across midfield. He's into the attacking third. And then knocked out on a great defensive slide by Congdon. And here's Olawi for the throw-in for the Spuds. That's sent into Hussein. Hussein taking his time. That's knocked away from him. And that'll be ruled off of the Sabres. And here's Olawi as we do it all over again. And that'll be sent into the middle and then knocked on net by Keikos. But nothing comes out of that as Vogt swallows that one up. And a very high and far kick by Vogt will be knocked down by Gas. Still try to send it forward, but that's taken away by the Sabres. They'll be sent up along the side, out of the reach of Fisher, and everybody watches that go out of bounds. And so these Spuds take a throw-in. Here's Alawi that throws it into Ahmed. Ahmed pressured hard there by Johnson, and then sent out of bounds by Alawi. So here comes the Sabres throw-in. And sent forward by Hodney to about midfield. Nice fighting for it with Ahmed. Ahmed over to the middle to Keikos. Keikos sends a hard pass up to the middle. And Vogt taps that to the side. And Moorhead will get a throw-in along the far side after Vogt's tap just went a little bit too far out of the reach there for Muring, who was trying to dart for it at the last second, but nothing happened. Making a couple moves here. That's Keikos. He's pressured hard by Nice, and Nice ends up taking that from him. Keeps it in. Moves it up. Here's in the middle. Here's Hilger. Hilger, he'll send that forward. Here's McClellan. McClellan getting around Baumgartner. Actually, Baumgartner will trip on the ball, and that'll slow down everything. And in turn, the Spuds will move it forward as they pass the middle third and go into offense. Sent in for Hussein, but he's taken off of that by Horgan. And Horgan with it now. Sends a hook pass up to the middle. And then a long pass over to the side behind Fisher. Fisher trying to keep it in, but can't quite reach it. And instead, Alawi will take a throw-in for the Spuds, which will be sent in for Colborne, who wasn't expecting that. Move forward, tapped up with a foot of Colborne. Taken in by Ahmed. Ahmed taps it forward, intended for Keikos. And the Sabres end up with possession of that after a couple of miscues by both teams, and contact there between Colborne and the Sabres. And there will be a yellow card issued to Ben Colborne. And he'll have to check out of the game for now. As in comes number 22, Lukman Ali, in for the newly exited Ben Colborne. And that free kick is taken by the Sabres, sent up into the box of the net, knocked down and immediately sent out, trying to keep it in, but to no avail. And so the Spuds instead will take a goal kick, which Vanette is trying to decide. And instead he will send that to Gast. And now Gast will take it from about the center of that small box there, right in front of the net. That's sent forward, knocked down by Keikos. That's Ali tapping it back to Keikos now. Move forward, and a great pass there by Ali. Keikos makes a move. Keikos going in between the legs. He moves it over to the side. Back for Keikos. Keikos tries a spin move that he's knocked off of that by the Sabres. Now a hard left-footed pass knocked down by Alawi. Back into the middle. That's a header by McClellan. Here's Fisher now. Fisher moving around. Pressured by Gast, and he will send it off of Fisher's foot and well out of bounds. It'll be just a matter of if they ruled it out of bounds or behind the goal line, as they rule out of bounds there. And there will be a throw-in for Alawi way back into the corner. That'll be sent in. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed pressured by Nice. Sent forward. Here's Hussein. Hussein to the middle. Here's Keikos. Keikos far side. Here's Namook with it. Namook sending a far shot into the middle. Knocked up, and Vogt coming out. He ended up making the save, but he was playing that aggressively. And here's Nice. Nice sending that forward. Tried to hit it to Fisher. He'll try to keep it in, but it'll go behind Vanette's net. And so a goal kick will be taken by Vanette. As we are now over the 10-minute mark of the second half, with the score still remaining on your Northwest Blind scoreboard in favor of your hometown Spuds. Lining up, and that shot will be taken forward, or rather pass will be taken forward and headed up into the air, knocked back down. Couple of headers back and forth, and that's sent over midfield by the Spuds defense. That's sent forward by Johnson and out of bounds. As now Alawi will toss that in. It'll just bounce past Ahmed. And it's sent out again by the Sabres. Alawi tosses that in for Hussein. But Sartell gets possession after a weird bounce. And Baumgartner knocks that into the air. Here's Nice with it. Nice makes a move around Ali. Nice sending a pass to the far side, headed forward. And it goes behind Vanette and his goal line, and he will take a goal kick. Vanette will opt for Gas to take that. As here's Gas lining up that goal kick at the top of the small box. And that'll be sent well forward, past Keikos and past everybody. And Muring will have to regroup that. He'll send it forward. That's kept in by Pakula. He'll send that forward. Here's Hilger. Hilger between the legs of the Spuds. But a recovery will result in Moorhead retaining possession. That's hit to Hussein. And here's Ali with it. Back to Hussein. Hussein back to Ali. Sent up forward. Or rather backwards. Here's Hussein. Hussein moving up into the attacking third. Tries to get it to the middle as there was a streaking Ahmed. But that'll be sent into the air and then headed up forward by McClellan. And then headed out to the side by the Spuds. And a throw-in will take place here for the Sabres as that went out of bounds. As in comes Drew McClellan of the Sartell Sabres checking in. And that'll be moved on over to Johnson. Johnson trying to keep it in. It'll go just too far for him. And here's Alawi in turn with a throw-in. And checking in now is Abdizamik Ibrahim for the Moorhead Spuds. That'll be thrown in. Here's Keikos trying to keep it in, but that's knocked away from him by Bollinger. And now the Spuds get another throw in. And instead of a throw-in, we will have another substitution as in comes number 6, Lukman Samani, checking into the game. And now we get a throw-in for Alawi. That's sent up for Samani. But instead taken in, and here's Sartell with it. pass by Congdon's going to be sent up into the middle. Here's Nice just past him. And Alawi with a booming shot sends it past midfield, and Sartell takes a throw in. That's sent into the middle. Here's far side, intended for either Fisher or McClellan in the middle. And instead they'll have to regroup along the side before the Spuds take possession. That's moved over. Here's Samani. Samani to Namook. Namook, a little bit of miscommunication as he wasn't quite sure where Hussein was going to be. And now here's the Sabres. Sabres moving it to the side. That's tap back, going in the middle. The nice move, and somehow keeping it alive. And now here's Nice with it. Nice with a move around Samani. He'll send that forward. And that's tap back for Muring. Muring along the side, and that's kept in by the Sabres somehow. And then a battle between Pekula and Ibrahim will result in a Sabre throw-in. And that's kept in bounds by the Sabres. And now here's Muring. He'll send it into the box. That's headed away by Baumgartner. And then a high kick by the Spuds, and it'll go out. And before Hussein is taken down in the middle, and that will result in a Spud free kick. That'll be taken in the middle third there on the pitch. So here's Gast moving forward to take that. As that'll just be a roller up for Hussein. Hussein trying to move around pressure. He'll tap that over for Namook. Namook up to the side, too far for Alawi, and that'll roll out of bounds. And there'll be a throw-in for the Sabres here. As that's Carter Johnson that'll be taking it.
Coming in for Moorhead, number 14, Justin Stahlberger. Back in is number 5, Ben Colburn. In for the Sabres, number 8, Mason Horgan.
Summing into the game here is number 8, Mason Horgan, as well as number 14, Justin Stahlberger. And number 5, Ben Colburn. And now there'll be a battle for it at midfield before it goes out of bounds. And now the Spuds will take a throw-in. And that'll be sent forward for Ibrahim before that bounces off of him and sent forward by Nice. Knocked away by Baumgartner just past Hussein and teeing up and sent forward by Johnson, intercepted by Alawi. I'm saying a bunch of different team names here. So there's quite a few changes of possession. As there, that'll be sent out by Alawi. And a throw-in for the Sabres will occur along this near sideline of the camera. And that's sent well up, and they'll actually curve in off of the bounce. As here's Hilger before it'll bounce off of Alawi's foot and out of bounds behind the goal line. And so the Sabres will take a throw-in with just over half of this half remaining. And as the Sabres talk over along the side of who's going to take the kick. That'll be sent over. And rather, it won't be a corner kick, but a dart to the center of the net. That shot's going to be taken and saved by Jacob Vanette. And the Spuds will actually catch a break there, as I believe it was saved by Vanette, but instead the refs will rule it went off of the wheel of the net there. And so that was why Alawi ended up catching it, as you saw Jacob Vanette there on your screen kind of hold out his hands as to wondering why Alawi was picking up the ball. And instead the Sabres take a free kick here. as that'll be teed up. And now both Sabres and Spuds will line up. Is a crucial kick here will be sent in by Congdon and then headed away. End up for Samani before a foul in the box will result in a Moorhead free kick. Here's Gass with it. Gass will send a kick up for Namook. Instead, that'll be headed by Johnson. Sent forward into the air by Alawi. Johnson fighting for it with Stahlberger. Here's Namook coming in, trying to take it away. Instead, that'll be Testa, sending it forward, intended for Nice. Taken away. And now here are the Spuds regrouping. Sent forward for Namook, just out of his reach. Hook pass by Johnson to the far sideline. Sent into the middle. And that will be sent in, and Vanette makes the easy save, and making sure he has it. He'll fall on top of that. And now there will be a throw-in along the far side for the Spuds, as that'll be Elliott Funk taking that. Sent forward, and as it rolls, it'll be knocked back out of bounds by the Sabres. And Funk taking another throw-in here for the Spuds, considering options. He'll send it into the middle. And then tap back for Samani. Samani with a stop and go. Sent it back to the middle as he almost slipped on either the pitch or the ball. And here's Samani. Samani with a move. And it'll roll out of bounds off of the foot of Carter Muring. And so here come the Spuds with a throw-in well inside the attacking third. And that'll be sent in by Funk, headed up into the air by the Sabres. And then headed forward again. Over to the side for Testa. Knocked forward and then headed by Colborne. Headed to the side there by the defense and sent over for Johnson. Johnson not quite able to get to it, and it'll roll out of bounds. It was a great effort, but could not get there nonetheless. And here's Stahlberg off of an Alawi throw-in. Samain faking out everybody. Here's Colborne sending in a hard shot that'll curve to the right of Vogt. And he will take a goal kick from the inside of his box as we have number 19, Caden Osman, checking in for the Sabres. As now Vogt's goal kick will be sent on out and over the heads of two Spuds before it's sent forward by Baumgartner. Headed into the air by Congdon, but Samani will get to that instead, and a high kick will go up and to the left of Vogt. And he will get another goal kick from inside his small box there. In comes number 11, Mohammed Hussein, checking back in for the Spuds. And Vogt's goal kick will be sent well up, intended for Nice, but he'll miss that, and Colborne will have to fight off Hilger before he'll get possession and send it on over to Alawi. Alawi's pass will be knocked by Testa. Here comes McClellan, sending it well forward, but knocked away by Funk. Here's Colborne fighting off Pikula. Sent over, intended for Ibrahim, but knocked away, and then knocked eventually out of bounds by Caden Osman. That's move forward for Stahlberger. Stahlberger trying to fight off the defensive pressure from Congdon, but Congdon will end up knocking it out. And the Spuds will take a throw-in. That's sent back for Colborne. Colborne over to the side, back to Funk. Funk with a little bit of trickery there, and instead they'll be moved to Colborne. And then over to Alawi. Alawi back to Hussein. Hussein around 1, around 2, and then knocked away by the third. So you try to get around Sartell there. Instead, Moorhead will send it back to their defenseman Baumgartner. And then moved up for Samani. Samani with a far pass. Here's Hussein inside the box, but a stop by Johnson. Sent up for Testa. Testa to the middle. Here's Colborne. Colborne taps it back for Gast, and Gast sends it over to Alawi. Alawi, his pass will be sent up with a little bit too much power on it. And then in turn, another powerful pass will be taken in by the Spuds as here's Gast. Sending it off of the shins of Nice. And now here comes Baumgartner. Baumgartner to the side to Funk. Funk a little bit too far in front of Stahlberger. And then sent forward by Johnson. Taken in by Gast. Here's Pekula. Pekula will be sent a pass well forward. And now here are the Sabres. Here's Pekula. Pekula off of the ref. And it'll be ruled a handball. And the Sabres will take a free kick. As he lets the ref set that down. And it'll be moved over to the side. Here's Muring. Muring with the high and wide shots. That will result in a Vanette goal kick. And here's Vanette trying to decide what he wants to do. He elects to have Gast actually take that goal kick for him. And that line drive of a shot will be sent up to just about the midfield marker. Stahlberger overshoots it. And it'll be a handball ruled. And now Sartell will send it forward. And then it'll be tapped behind the goal line for the Spuds. And now the Sabres will get a corner kick. Their third of the game with the same amount as the Spuds, with the Spuds scoring on their third corner kick. So obviously Sabres looking to do the same here. That'll be lined up, sent in. That's a curving shot that'll be just knocked away harmlessly by Stahlberger before it bounces over Samani and sent in by Muring. 50-50 ball will be sent out. And another corner kick will result for the Sabres. That'll be sent over, similar to what we saw along the near side here just a couple of minutes ago. Sent into the middle and outside the box. Sent in by Testa. Knocked out off of the Spuds' own player. Then move forward for now along the side. Now here's Stahlberger. Stahlberger up for Ibrahim. That'll be knocked away from him. Here's Hussein. Hussein over to Ibrahim. And it'll be offsides on the Spuds. And so the Sabres will take a kick from the spot of that infraction. That's sent well forward and along the side. Here's Hussein. Try to get around another two defenders, but nothing comes out of that. Here's Hodney. Hodney tapping it up well forward. Here's Ibrahim. Ibrahim darting forward with a stop and go. Sent into the middle. Shot taken and scores! Or rather, that will be ruled offsides by the referee. And instead of a goal, we will have a free kick by the Sabres. And now here, after that offsides call, we will have a Sabre throw-in after a little bit of a back-and-forth action after that kick. As in comes number 10, Reaver Keikos, and number 22, Alex Atkin, subs back in for both of their respective teams. That's sent forward for Pakula. Pakula has that taken away from him and sent up to Keikos. Keikos with a fake, trying to get around a defender, but that's knocked away and then taken back in by Keikos. Hussein will send that over to Alawi. Alawi into the box, and a little bit too powerful of a pass, and Vogt will take that in. Vogt sends a booming kick that'll land just past midfield. Knocked forward by Hodney. Sent well forward by Johnson and knocked down by Alawi. Alawi sends in a curving right-footed shot that'll stay in bounds. And the Spuds will take that in into Keikos. Keikos making a move. Keikos teeing up for a shot. Misses. And now Sartell will send that forward. And Hussein will send that up. And here's Alawi back over to Keikos. Keikos bounces it off of the legs of a Sabre. And now the Sabres get possession. That'll be sent up to Fisher. Fisher sends that forward. Knocked away on a great defensive play by Gast. Ford sent forward by Hodney. Keikos tried a spin move there, didn't work. Taken in by the Sabres, sent across midfield. And here in the attacking third of the Sabres, sent forward for Fisher, and a beautiful sliding kick by Parker Gast will allow the Spuds to regroup. As we have just over about 8 minutes remaining here in this first half. That'll be, second half. That'll be thrown in by Nice and then knocked forward and taken in by Sartell. As here's Muring sending it over to the side. Then back to the middle, and the shot will go well over the net, as that was Congdon looking maybe to go into the upper part of the net, but missed it by about 10-15 feet as he sent that well high of the net. And now the Spuds will get a goal kick. As here's Gast, he'll send that up. And that'll be knocked down before the Spuds try to take possession, but an awry pass, and Fisher will send that up. That's knocked well into the air and headed down by the Sabres, but taken in by the Spuds. There's Olawi sending up a kick. Keeping that in. Hussein trying to dart forward, but a defensive play there by Mason Horgan. And the Sabres will be allowed to regroup. And here comes Alawi with the throw-in. Here's Alawi throwing it in for Hussein. Move forward. And here's Hodney sending it back in. Hussein trying to battle off a Sartell defender, but it'll go off of Carter Johnson and sent in by the Spuds on a throw-in. Here's Somani. Somani sending it to the middle. Knocked away. Somani gets it back with a stop and go. Trying to look for something. Knocked away from him. And another whistle before a Spud shot. And instead there will be a corner kick, as it did go out of bounds behind the net. And so Hodney will take a Breakdown Sports corner kick for the Spuds, their fourth of tonight. Here's Hodney with it, sending in a shot. Forward and knocked away by Vogt as he made a diving play to keep the score at where it is with just under 6 minutes remaining in the game. As the Spuds take a throw in, that's sent into the side. Here's Stahlberger sending it back, teeing up for a shot. That's Funk sending it to the middle, but knocked away by the Sabres. Taking it in now is Nice. Nice sending up a right-footed pass that'll bounce well forward and into the attacking third for the Sabres. Sent into the middle and knocked down by Baumgartner and out of bounds. And now here comes a throw-in for the Sabres, as it'll be Carter Muring taking it, going way back onto the track, and doing a front flip, and throws in the ball. And that'll be sent up by the Spuds, up and out of danger. That's moved just past where Stahlberger would have been. And now here comes Keikos, moving it up to Samani. Samani with a move. Back over to the side. Here's Stahlberger. Stahlberger trying to settle it down. Making a move. He's in the box. Sent back to the middle for Samani. And a powerful pass, and it'll go off of his shins, and Sartell takes advantage and knocks it away. That's sent forward. Here's Hussein. Hussein pressured hard. With it now is Alawi. Alawi back to the middle. Here's Nice. Nice between two Spud attackers. And he'll send that forward and out of bounds. And we have another substitution for the Spuds, as in comes number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed.
Number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed checks in for Moorhead.
And with 3:50 remaining in the game, the clock was actually running there, as they talk over what the time will be reset to. And the ref yelling out that the clock will be reset to 3 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the game. And as we await the clock being fixed here, you'll probably see a modification by the Sabres, as they will look to play very aggressive, as you may even see Vogt coming out well past his box. As you may see in hockey, with a pulled goalie, you can see a similar situation possibly occurring for Sartell. As the goalie can come out of his box, he just loses the ability to play it with his hands. And that's thrown in for newly entered Abdizamik Ibrahim. And that'll be sent forward for Hussein, bouncing way into the air. Ibrahim takes that in, makes a move around, makes another move around, and then knocked away by the Sabres. Ibrahim trying to cut through the box. And a riser shot will be taken in by Billy Vogt and sent forward. And the Sabres will send a pass up for Fisher, and he will knock it out, trying to get it around Alawi. He'll throw it well forward. Kept in by Keikos. Keikos will send it back to the middle. Here's Hodney. Hodney moving it forward. Hodney with speed. Gets that knocked away from him. Here's Keikos. Keikos making a move back to Hodney. Back to Keikos. Keikos driving around the edge of the box. Sent into the middle. He's driving now. And then knocked out by the Sabres. And we will have a breakdown sports corner kick for your Moorhead Spuds in the far corner of your camera there. That will be number 8, Max Hodney, taking it for the Spuds. And that'll be sent in a little bit shorter this time. And a couple of back and forth headers and passes, and eventually that'll be sent well into the air by Funk. And here's Ahmed going for it. Ahmed goes inside the box. And Ibrahim will tap it back. Sent forward and off the chest of the Sabres. Move by Hussein. Taps it back. Here's Ahmed with a chance. And Moorhead scores! The Spuds getting a goal with 1 minute and 48 seconds remaining in the second half to make the score 3-0 in favor of your Moorhead Spuds. As that'll be scored by number 10, Reaver Keikos. He has 2 points on the night, with his first point coming on an assist to Mohammed Namook's goal in the first half of play. And now the score stands at 3-0 on your Northwest Blinds scoreboard in favor of the Moorhead Spuds. As here is Hussein, sent forward and out of the reach of Ibrahim. And Vogt will take a goal kick with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the game. Move forward. That's Congdon setting it up along the side. And that'll go off of Otkin. And the Spuds will take a throw in. The Spuds will be looking to waste as much time as possible here. And that throw in will be kept in along the side actually. And then sent forward here for Otkin. And with 1 minute remaining in the second half of play, and in turn the game, the Spuds will look to both keep control and kill the clock. As you can actually see that happening there with a box out action from Funk. And it ends up working, and he gets a throw in along the far side. That'll be sent in for Hussein. Hussein knocks that down, sends that into the box of Vogt, and Vogt will take that in and run up. Looking for options, he'll boot that up. And a shorter kick this time that'll be taken in by Fisher. Fisher sends a left-footed pass. That's up along the side. Here comes McClellan. And it'll be offsides against the Sabres. And with time winding down, your Moorhead Spuds are moving on as they defeat the Sartell Sabres 3-0 on their home turf, with Jacob Vanette posting a shutout on the night. Reaver Keikos ended the night with 2 points, a goal and an assist, and with the other goals coming from Ben Colborn and Mohamed Namook. It was an exciting game to watch, and we thank you for tuning in here on Spuds TV. And as your hometown Spuds move on